Hello and welcome to my kitchen again. So today I'm going to be going through my cabinets all the way around here. I have some stuff that's got kind of messy over the holidays. This is January when I'm filming this, the end of January. Things got messy over the holidays, like I was saying. And I hosted Thanksgiving, I hosted Christmas. So there was lots of chaos going on, lots of stuff that was, plus I was busy with other stuff on top of that. So I took a lot of shortcuts and put things where they're not supposed to be, or I put them in messily, didn't really organize the way I should as I go, which is something I strive to do. So even I make mistakes. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect whatsoever. And I also, for Christmas, got some kitchen related things that I need to find a place for. So that's going to be part of this as well. This is technically what I do as part of my zone cleaning in the kitchen. That's one zone on its own. But it was scheduled for November, and the next one is scheduled for May. But I'm doing it now. It's not going to be I'm not doing the whole zone, just the cabinets. And we'll see when I get to May if I do it again. I'm not sure. That's why I leave it to be flexible like that. So it needs to get done, basically. It's kind of not the zone I'm technically supposed to be doing this time, but I need to. So what I'm going to do is take everything out of the cabinets, wash anything that needs to be washed, that doesn't get used very often. It might be dusty, or there might be crumbs in it or something. Wash all the cabinets before I put everything away. And I have some dirty dishes there that I have to wash while I'm doing that. I figured I might as well just wash those when I do it. Plus I don't have a spot to put them yet because I have to wash the counter before I start anyway. So for those of you who are here just to see the final organization of everything, that will be in this timestamp here. It'll also be in the chapters. So if that's all you're looking for, but I'm also going to, before that, show you the process. Probably not going to talk very much during it. It's just going to be kind of watching me. I'll put some music on. But before that, I'm going to give you a view of how things look now, and I'll do before and afters at the end of the video as well, so you can kind of see the transformation. It shouldn't be that extreme. It's not that bad in there. There's just some of them that are kind of disorganized. And as I'm going through, I don't expect there's going to be a lot, maybe not even any. But if there's something I feel like I need to declutter, because I don't use it anymore, or I have another one that's better or something, then I will, do that as well. Now, I'm not very good at doing decluttering videos on my channel because I kind of do it as I go normally. So if something's not working or if it breaks, I throw it away right away. I don't keep it. So we'll see if there's anything. There might be. And let's get started. All right, so general organization of my kitchen, the way it is now and how I expect it to be at the end of the video as well, is, so we have this kind of U shape of cabinets here. One's on the bottom as well. And this side of the room is, the cooking side. So all my things that I use on the stove or the oven are over here. And then here by the sink, this cabinet here is for glasses. And I'm going to show you all of these too, but I'm just going to do the general organization right now. So there's glasses in there, and there's also, so we have a soda stream machine here. We have the soda syrups in there too when we use them. And then this cabinet is partial sink related. I have my colander in there that I use at the sink. And then underneath here is, general cleaning using the sink stuff too. This is still all cookware here. And then this drawer here is for utensils that I use at the stove only. And then over here, the rest of the cabinets here are basically prep related, so food prep related. And yes, the table's a little messy back there, sorry. This cabinet usually has a garbage can in it, but I'm washing it at the moment. It's soaking. So I'll show you that when I open, but that's where the garbage is. So that's, that was planned that way so that I can do all my food prep there. And if there's anything I need to throw in the garbage, I can do that very easily right there. And everything else is so these cabinets down here, these two, well, it's technically one, but it's got two doors, is either food prep or food storage containers. And then this one is partially prep kind of stuff as well. So basically the zones are food prep, sink cleaning, or drinks, and then stove related, oven related cookware and stuff like that. And I pride myself on this because I designed this kitchen this way, because when we moved in here, I was able to take the lead on the designing the cabinets portion of creating the kitchen. One of the battles I won, because I was the one who's going to be using it the most, right? So, this was my plan all along. Now things have kind of, slightly moved ever since then, like, because things evolve as you go on, you gain more things, and that's something I'm doing today. As I found space, I have to find space for the stuff that I, added to my collection. So, but I don't think it's going to drastically change where like any of the cabinets are, like things in the cabinets are located. Like it's just going to go, it's like going to be reorganized within the cabinet, or move like one over technically sometimes. But that's about it for the general organization. Now I will show you the cabinets themselves and what they look like. All right, so first, this is the one above the microwave. There isn't much in here. I've really never had much to put up here. I do put toothpicks up here, which are mainly used for checking like a cake or a brownie or something. That's why they're up there. But you can use them for like making appetizers, which technically would be a prep thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll decide to put them in the prep area instead, or maybe put like one up there because I have a few different ones, and then put the rest in the prep area down here. And then there is this is the griddle from my stove, which I barely ever use, but it normally goes in the middle there if you take the other one out. But I barely use it, so it's up there in case I ever do want to use it. That's pretty much it up there. So what? Actually, don't even know what this is. What is this? I still don't know what it is. Don't know what it came from. Not sure. Maybe I'll declutter that once I figure out what it is. But anyway, it's just basically to hide the vent. And I'm not sure what to put up there. I don't really have anything that goes up there, so it's mostly empty space. So then moving over, this is one of the cookware cabinets. So those things up there are what I'm talking about. I got for Christmas this year, something I have to find a better organization for. I mean, they might still go up there, but I'm going to try to make them look better. We'll see. But again, basically, things that are going to go in the oven. This is a little salt and pepper holder thing. So I grind up salt and pepper. It's what I use at the stove, basically, when I need to season things with salt and pepper. If I season with other things, obviously that's not in this cabinet, but it's not perfect, like I said. Now all my pots and pans, there's one missing right now because it's in the dishwasher, but that's where those go. So before I got this stacker thing, which I will link if you're interested, I'll link all the most interesting things. If I miss anything, leave a comment. I'll try to let you know where I got it. Sometimes it's not possible, but originally all these pots and pans were in this cabinet, and the pans were kind of not, actually these aren't the pans I had. These are like an upgrade from what we had eventually. But I had all the pans kind of lined up in here, and it took up a lot of space in the cabinet, but I didn't really have anywhere else to put them, like in our kitchen. So this, it takes up a lot of space on our countertop, but we work with it. It's worked very well with us. Very easy to access the pans when we need them, pots and pans, and easy to put away, and it doesn't take up too much space in the cabinets. So now I have room for all the rest of this stuff now in here. So I don't know if I have a picture of that back when I did that. I can search. I'm not sure if I do though, to show you what it looked like, but if I do, I'll let you know. So like I said, this is all dirty dishes I have to wash. Actually, why don't I go down here? So these sheet pans here, or cookie sheets, whatever, are the things that go in here. We've got a cabinet with a divider in it. It does roll out, but I never really use it that way. I just use it to kind of contain them. But I do need to clean that out, which is why I didn't wash the dishes and put them back yet. And then, like I said, this drawer here is all the utensils I use at the stove. That's all that goes in here. And then this corner cabinet here, this is kind of like the miscellaneous dumping area. So this is something I have to do, I have to organize. I don't actually use a lot of the stuff in here very often. So it's probably my least used cabinet right here. But we'll go through this stuff as I do the final organization. I'll tell you exactly what's in here. But basically cast iron, my cast iron stuff, which I should use more. I just haven't. And like a griddle and electric skillet and extra pots and pans, pizza stuff, pizza peels and stuff like that, because we do occasionally grill pizzas outside. Because my husband has an attachment for his grill that I bought him that we can make pizzas in. But that's basically whenever we use those, because we don't really use them in the oven. Then, so this cabinet here is more bakeware stuff. So, like baking dishes of all different sizes. And then on top there I have some empty jars that I was keeping, but those are probably something I can declutter because I never use them. And maybe I'll be able to fit more of the stuff that I just got up there. So basically also, I didn't really mention this, but our cabinets go to the ceiling, and those top shelves I can't really reach unless I bring out the step stool. So that's usually stuff that we don't use very often that goes up there. But anyway, that's what's in there. So then the next cabinet over is where I had my glasses and, like I said, the soda syrups for the Soda Stream when we use that. And then, so like we try not to go overboard with our glasses. Like we're a 2-person household, and actually these glasses here I end up using for my cat for his water because I don't really use them for anything else. But these are our like main everyday glasses. We just use these for, you know, whatever we drink during the day. Then we have 2 like, you know, mugs, because there's 2 people. We don't need like 1,000 mugs, you know, we're not those people. We also don't drink coffee, so that helps. But also, if you notice, we don't have coffee anywhere. But also, you know, like, it's one of the things I see other people have like thousands of mugs. I'm like, why? Like, I don't get it. Maybe I would if I drink coffee, but I don't. So, but that's it. So we do actually have other cups, like we have wine glasses and things like that. My husband does work for a brewery, so we do get glasses occasionally, like from them, where they're either selling them for cheap or they're giving them away for free or whatever. So we have a lot of, or we've gone to like visit other places that give us glasses too. And they're technically more collectible things, so we don't use them very often. I mean, we do when we like have a special occasion occasionally and mix a drink and have it in a special glass or whatever. But most of the time we use those cups in there. So that is that portion. Now down here, this has gotten a little disorganized and messy over time, but again, this is mainly cleaning stuff and stuff that we use in the sink and or the dishwasher, because the dishwasher tab's right there and the liquid. But basically mainly cleaning stuff, but cleaning stuff related to the kitchen only. Like I know a lot of people keep like all of their cleaning stuff under the sink in the kitchen, but I don't do that. It's just for stuff that's used in the kitchen. And then like stuff to use for washing dishes by hand as well. So then this cabinet, like I said, I have the colander here. So that's used in the sink, so it's easy to grab when I need it. The bottom shelf is all stuff for my cat. I need to get him some more food soon. But he gets finicky about the kind of food he likes. Like some of these he's not too wild about, but he'll eat them every once in a while, so I'm slowly trying to go through them. And then I have like, he has a thyroid issue. I have his medicine in here that I have to give him every day as well. And then the rest of this stuff is kind of, again, prep stuff. One of the things I did get for Christmas this year was this measuring cup, because I had the Pyrex cups, like the 1 cup, the 2 cup, and the 4 cup. And the 2 and the 4, the lines started getting really bad. In fact, I'll probably show you that. I have them I now use them just for like mixing when I'm baking or something like that. So they're in that. I actually have those in a different spot. They used to all be up here, but they're in a different spot. I'll get to that in a minute. But that kind of took the place of all of those, even though I do still have the 1 cup because that one still works. Like I can still see all the lines. The other ones don't, but that one is presently in the dishwasher. So, but it looked a little nicer back then because they had the 1 cup, the 2 cup, the 4 cup, and then this one as well, which is it more than 4 cups? I've had this forever. It's actually a Pampered Chef thing. It's 4 cups. Pampered Chef thing. I've had, like, this is probably one of the oldest things I have. I had that, back when I was just getting my first place. Long time ago. Anyway, so, and then I have this larger one up here, but I usually only use this for watering my plants, actually. Which I don't have that many of. And then those up here, I usually use these for bread making to let the dough rise. So that's that. Then this cabinet next to it has, so the bottom shelf here is stuff that I use for leftovers mainly. So if we have leftovers from, dinner or whatever, I'll put it in the fridge. And then I like these because they are glass and they are easy to clean. And then, so there is another set of bowls here, but those are both in the dishwasher right now. So like mixing bowls, more mixing bowls. This is like a salad bowl. I don't use that very often. And then up there is, these are usually, I use these if I'm going to another place for a party and I'm bringing stuff. And then this is something I got for Christmas. That might stay up there, probably. I'm not sure. We'll see once I get everything out. And then, okay, so here, this is probably the most disorganized cabinet that we're gonna encounter today. This is a lot of prep stuff, kind of miscellaneous prep stuff, and this is where I kind of, just threw things in here and need to organize again. One thing I'll say too is, so these corner cabinets, this one down here, the one that I showed you over here that had the extra pots and pans and the cast iron and everything, and to a lesser extent, this one up here. So when I was designing these cabinets, I knew that I didn't want this Lazy Susan corner cabinets because to me, they just don't make sense. I mean, I get it to a certain extent. Like it makes it a little easier when you can turn things and be able to grab something instead of reaching in there, which these are technically called reach in, easy reach in, it's supposed to be. But you lose so much space with those. Like there's so much unused space in those cabinets. So I knew I didn't want that. So the lower ones actually don't have this feature, but the ones on the upper do. The one we have here. What I like about that one is these shelves are adjustable. So let me show you. See, you can adjust the shelves down or up if you need to, and I have done that before. And that is a feature I like because, again, things change, and sometimes I may need to I've done that so many times in these other cabinets too with the shelves. Like I wanted something I could be more flexible, and I could do that. Now I can't really do that on the lower ones. There isn't much of an option there to redo those. Like there isn't a thing I can do down here. They just stay in the same spot, but they do have more space and more flexibility used rather than a Lazy Susan. So again, I'm happy with my decision there. But part of the issue with that is I have to make things more accessible. So I try to, like there's some things in here that, like this has a handle on its own, but there's like things that I put in like a basket so it's easy to kind of grab out if it's in the back. So that's part of it. I didn't even know I had this in here. I don't normally have paper towels in here. I don't remember doing that at all, but okay. Don't know where this came from. Maybe it wasn't me. But anyway, so I try to make, like it's kind of a challenge to try to make things accessible. So that's kind of what I'll show you when I get to the end, how I do that. But right now it's kind of messy. Like I said, this is probably the worst one. So then these drawers, this top one has a lot of prep tools. versus the ones that you use at the stove. Have those separate. And I like that. So this is all stuff I use like while I'm prepping food. And then I have a notebook and both a wet erase marker and a Sharpie. So the wet erase marker I can use to, with my containers, for example. I don't really do it here. I probably should though. Those are, the labels are permanent on these, but I can write in the wet erase with the expiration date, and then I can wet erase it off later on and put something new. I'll tell you what I do use it for. My egg containers here. This is what I use this for. So then I can redo it when it's time. I'm a big proponent of the wet erase marker. You'll probably learn this if you watch my channel. But anyway, basically, like these are serving spoons slash, sometimes I use them to like spoon in flour and stuff to my measuring or whatever I'm doing with it. But basically a bunch of serving stuff and or prep stuff in here. And then like whisks. Now generally, I'm not the type of person to have two different whisks. The reason I do here is this one has a scraper on it. I can scrape the bowl, and this one's just a whisk. That's why I have two, and then I have one of these whisks, which is slightly different. But normally my rule is I don't need two of everything. Like the only other thing, this needs to be washed. The only other thing, like this is a small one, small rubber spatula that I use occasionally when baking something. But if you notice, I did have one in this drawer too. But this is to like when we cook scrambled eggs or something, use here. That's okay having two. I mean, even if I had another one that looked kind of like this, which I think we did at one point, but then it was a cheap one, so it ended up breaking or something. But I do have this one as well, which is another kind of scraper one. But my point is, in general, I try not to have like too many of one thing. Like I don't need a million whisks or a million rubber spatulas or, you know, things like that. So that's why I'm able to keep like everything kind of contained. And you know, every tool has its own individual purpose. Like there isn't two of everything, you know what I mean? So that's just a comment I had in general. Then this next one is basically all my wrapping stuff. So this, the place I got this from doesn't exist anymore, but I think there are other versions on Amazon. I'll link this, I know, because people are probably gonna be interested in this. So I put my aluminum foil and like cling wrap in here. And I don't know if I would get, I might, I don't know, maybe get another one of these for the rest of these. I don't use the rest of these very often anyway. These are my most used ones. But I also, there used to be one on this side, I think I took it off. But you see that I put like from a aluminum foil one on the end here so that I can kind of, I'm not gonna do it right now, but like undo this and then pull it over and rip it off along the edge. I was trying to be, you know, resourceful in that way. But I do have scissors in here in case I need to cut that or anything else. Those are the kitchen scissors. Also, I want to differentiate kitchen scissors versus my kitchen shears, which are food only. And I do have another pair of the kitchen shears by my stove as well, because they came in a 2-pack. But anyway, that's generally what's in there. So then the next one is where I have Ziploc bags and some other stuff. This was kind of scrap paper that I was using while I was baking something. Sometimes I take notes about things. And then these are little cups I could use sometimes. But that's generally what's in there. So then down here, these containers are for the one cutting board I have that has a hole in it that you can use. Like, I'd have to kind of make a separate video about that probably. It's actually a, what's that called? Kickstarter that I was interested in a while ago. I forget what it's called, the name of it technically. I'd have to look that up. I'll link it down there and I'll put it on the screen if I figure it out. But I think they came out with another version of it later, but I'm not sure if the company is still around anymore technically. because not enough people bought them, but I'm one of the lucky ones that have one. I don't actually use these as much. I use the cutting board itself more than anything like here, but depending on what you're doing, like it can help. So basically that cutting board has like this hole in it that you can put these containers in as you're prepping, and then you can kind of just slide everything in there. And there's a strainer one down here, and then there's smaller ones too. If you have like, you can put like 2 different ones, and then you can kind of compartmentalize them, you know. And then I have more of these little plastic cups down here. Again, basically food prep stuff. So, and this next drawer here is mainly knives. I have one small cutting board in here, just because it fits very nicely. And then my kitchen scale, then, you know, pizza cutter and stuff like that. These gloves I barely ever use, but I probably should use them because I have cut myself before, but they're supposed to help with, you know, not being able to, not cutting yourself while you're using a knife, which kind of inevitable. I always do that. But anyway, this is basically the knife drawer except for the kitchen scale and the lighter. But other than that, it's basically the knife drawer. And then this one, like I said, is where the garbage goes. I don't have that in there right now, the garbage can. I have to wash that. And then I keep my garbage bags, my extra garbage bags back there, so they're easy to just put in when it's time. And it slides out, and I can just, while I'm, you know, cutting stuff, just, you know, put it in the garbage very easily. So, in my prep area. But anyway, that is basically how the organization goes. Now you'll see at the end, it's probably not going to change that much, but you'll see it more organized in the end. But I did want to show you one more thing, sorry. Over here, which I'm probably going to go through this as well today. So this is a cart I use like when I'm baking something, basically. So usually the stuff on the top is down there. Like I said, I need to organize this too, but then I'll pick out my flour and whatever else I need and put that here, and then move it all over to the prep area so I don't have to keep walking back and forth, you know. And then I have another kitchen scale there and some other containers. This all needs to be washed because it's all exposed. I usually, before I use anything on here, I rinse it anyway because it's gonna get dirty. But I do need to like thoroughly wash the cart as well because it's been a while since I did that. So. But that is where, these are my Pyrex cups that can't see the lines very well anymore. You can kind of see them, but they're getting very hard to see. So I asked for new ones, but then my grandma actually couldn't, she was the one who bought the measuring cup for me. She couldn't find the new Pyrex, because I think I heard that they're not making them anymore, but I don't know if that's true. Because I generally prefer the glass ones here. That's what I would have preferred, but she couldn't find them, and that's fine. I don't mind the other one. So, but anyway, I just have, you know, again, more baking stuff. A lot of this before I got this cart was in this cabinet or this cabinet. I don't think in this cabinet. This one and this one. And I ended up kind of, again, rearranging things where they used to be in there, putting them over here. Because my kitchen is evolving and growing, and I'm getting more and more things. So that's what that is. Again, I'm probably going to go through all this too. All right, but that is it for what I'm covering in this video, cabinets and everything. So let's get started with the process. All right, so I didn't want to do too much of a voiceover here. The only thing I want to say real quick is that I did do this over 2 days, so there's going to be an outfit change, so don't be alarmed. If there's anything else, I'll pop in with a little comment, but otherwise I'm probably just going to put some music on, so here you go. Yeah, so I don't know why there was a Tombow brush marker in my cabinet. That doesn't belong there.
Alright, so that is it. This is where the baseline of my cabinets are going to be for now until I get more stuff, or whatever else. It's too chaotic again, I need to fix it. So I'm going to go around and show you the final organization now. One thing I didn't mention, I might have mentioned it in the voiceover, I'm not sure, but I forgot to tell you beforehand, and I didn't do that, this part this time. But I do have like plates and bowls somewhere else in the kitchen, technically in their own little cabinet. It's not really a cabinet, it's more of like a buffet or a sideboard, but I'll show you that. And I'm not going to clean it today or reorganize it, I don't really need to. There's a couple things I wanted to put in there though, so I'll probably do that, but I will show you where those are just in case you're wondering. But I'm going to go through now and show you the final result of all the cabinets. I didn't make that many changes, just kind of cleaned up a little bit. There's some things that swapped into different places. There's a few things I probably said in the voiceover if you were watching that part. When I was cleaning out this cabinet, there was a bunch of stuff that belonged in other places. There were like 2 or 3 things from there that technically I do have some bread stuff in there, but I have a spot for it in my bread box that I have. There's a little drawer in there that I keep those things in. So those went back where they're supposed to be. And that will go back on the counter. I'll do that before I show you the final thing so you can kind of see where everything goes. But that's where that was. It's over on the kitchen table right now. That's where I put everything. And then, like I said, I have some things I have to put in the dishes sideboard in the dining area of the kitchen.
So I will show you that too, because I forgot to show you that in the beginning. All right, so this is, the final result. So kitchen table's a little dirty right now. Just ignore that. But this is what I was talking about, where I put the plates and bowls and stuff. So I do have some other things over here I'll show you. Silverware is up here, and it gets used, on a weekly basis and cleaned and everything. So if it doesn't for some reason, or if before I use it, I take it out and make sure that it's clean, otherwise I'll rinse it off if it looks funny or whatever. But usually not a problem keeping them like that. So I've been happy with that setup. I've had that for a while. Now, in this thing, the main doors here. Gotta make sure the doors are closed. Okay, so this is all our plates and bowls and stuff. So a lot of the smaller plates I use for our cat and his food. So they're I'll show you when we get to that cabinet, the one with all his cat food. But these are the smaller bowls. These are like hybrid plate bowls. These are bigger platter plates, and then these are like normal size plates. So that's where I keep all those. And then in these drawers, so I have extra silverware in here for when we have more people over for like a big party or something. And then these are like, trivets. My husband got these from IKEA a long time ago. We barely use them. And then I just have kind of extra stuff down here. I have like a vase and hand wipes. And I think the last time I had a party, they might be in the pantry. I had some napkins in here usually, but I think I brought them out for the party, so I never put them back. But we don't use those napkins for when we have dinner. We use paper towels most of the time for our hands. But then on this side, a bunch of more serving type stuff. So I got ice cream scoops, ladles, and these tongs are extra ones that I used for like when we serve something. And they were in the cabinet with the food storage containers and my salad bowl thing and stuff like that. I decided it'd probably be better to put them in here and make more sense. So that's one thing I moved. But anyway, that's pretty much that. And then this next drawer I think has kind of similar stuff. Like there's just one ladle in here. Maybe I do need to reorganize these, but I'm not gonna do it today. So, and then down here is just kind of extra stuff. Like this is, so we're in near Milwaukee area. This is Milwaukee Admirals. We got it one time when we went to the game. They're like basically like kid plates and bowls that we've accumulated over the years, and just in case we have kids over. And then I have a cheese cutting board down here that barely ever gets used. And then I have some extra plastic bags in case I need them for something. That's all that's there. Then, so starting up here, again, I pretty much took everything out here except for that griddle and then that thing that I had no idea what it was because I'm gonna keep it for now. It looks like it goes inside like a pot or maybe a crock pot or something to like keep it off the bottom, but I have no idea where that came from. No idea. And I know it wasn't here like when we moved in. It came from something. I have no idea, but I'm gonna keep it for a little while, see if I can figure out where it goes. Otherwise, probably next time I'll get rid of it. So then the next cabinet over, pretty much the same. I ended up keeping those new things up there. Probably the best spot for them. And not much else different there from the beginning, but this is like casserole dishes and Dutch oven and teapot. And again, if you weren't watching in the beginning, this here is salt and pepper that I use at the stove. The stove's a little dirty too, sorry. But so I can just quickly add it into my food. And then I have other salt and pepper over by the kitchen table. Why can't I get that in there? Alright, so that's that. And then I have a vegetable steamer basket. I barely ever use that. And then another casserole dish / Dutch oven type thing. And then, like I said before, okay, if you weren't here, so we keep our pots and pans out here. This little contraption here, I'll link this where I found it. I found it on Amazon. As I was saying before, actually, not these pots and pans, because we bought these when I bought this. We bought new ones. But the ones we had before, I had in here, and they took up like half the cabinet because they were like up like this. Here, let me show you. Like they were, I had a little divider thing and I held them like this, so it took up like the entire cabinet. So this was our best choice, is putting them here. And it works out, like I said, kind of same with the similar, like I use these pretty often so they don't really accumulate dust or anything. But if they do, like there's a little bit of crumbage up here. That's a word, right? I don't know how that happened, maybe when I was cleaning. But, you know, obviously if I'm gonna use this, I'll just rinse it off real quick. But otherwise, you know, they keep pretty clean and works out great. And then this is just the air fryer. That's the stuff that goes in the air fryer. And then up here, pretty much the same as well. Although I took all the jars that were up on the top shelf out. Ended up putting the muffin pans, and there's a donut pan up there too, that were in this bottom cabinet. I ended up putting them up here because they made more sense up here. And, you know, all the kinds of cake pans and, you know, brownie pans, baking pans, pie pans, you know, are in this area. And again, I don't think I mentioned this now, but this area, this half or third of the kitchen, mostly a third, is all stuff that I use like in the oven or on the stove. Like that's what the goal is, to keep all that stuff over there. I need to go through these still, but those are all the stove and oven ones. And then just to continue that, so by the sink, under the sink obviously is what most people put under their cleaning stuff and dishes stuff, but only for the kitchen. I don't have any of my other cleaning stuff there. It's only kitchen stuff. And then this cabinet here, the smaller one, when I get to it, is glasses or cups, mugs. And that'll probably be the next one I show you anyway, but that is related to the sink. If you want to get water or something like that, or we have our soda stream machine, we have our syrups in there as well for soda. And then I just brought this blender out because my husband recently bought a new protein powder mix he wants to use. So I figured he probably needs that. So it was in this corner cabinet over here, and we'll get there. But I brought it out here so he can use it. But then, so that is sink related, so it's right by the sink. This is, you know, cleaning sink related, that's by the sink. And then this cabinet used to have more sink stuff, but right now the only thing really in there is my colander. So it's easy to grab when I need to, you know, strain something. So, but that's, you know, sink related slash, so this area, the rest of the area is prep. So it's sink slash prep there. And then this is kind of prep slash food storage. And then the rest of this is all like prep stuff down here. So that's the main general idea. Should have done that at the beginning, but sorry. So I said I was gonna do this one next. So this is the glasses and cups, mugs, and soda syrup, because the soda machine is right there. And that's my husband's new protein powder that he got, and his blender for using that. So, but like I said in the beginning, so we have actually these cups here, I only use really for my cat, for his water, because they're easy to clean. And, you know, I just switch out his water every once in a while with a new cup. But that's basically what we use those for. And then the other two mugs up there are the ones we use. And like I said earlier, we don't drink coffee. So it's not like we need a mug every day or whatever. So it's pretty easy. Like I know a lot of people have like a collection of mugs. We only have two. Other than these are kind of muggish as well, but those two. And then these are all like basically like they're our all-purpose cups that we use pretty much every day. That's for the soda machine, but I barely use that. And then I have extra syrups up there. Like they're either like ones we don't use very often, or they're ones that are extras, like doubles. And then we have some down here. So that is that cabinet. And then going over here, so next to the stove. So this drawer is only utensils that I use at the stove. So I don't have like all my utensils in one drawer, just these by the stove. And I don't have room for them on the counter like most people. So even before I had that, I didn't like the idea of putting them on the counter though. So plus I have this drawer, so why not? But that's what I put in here. And like another thing I said earlier is, you know, I try not to have like a million spatulas and a million like whisks and stuff. There aren't any whiskers here, but I do have 2 of these though, these like pasta grabber things. And I kind of want to get rid of the other one, this white one, because I do like the metal better than the plastic ones. But these are at least like a harder plastic. So, and this is the only slotted spoon I have, so I don't want to get rid of that yet anyway, so. But I do have a rubber spatula over here for when you're making like scrambled eggs, but then I have other rubber spatulas over in my other utensil drawer, which I will get to eventually. So then this cabinet here has cookie sheets, baking sheets, sheet pans, whatever you call them. I got all those washed because they were dirty before this process. And I said before, like we have this divider in here, but I don't, like it moves out, but I don't ever really use it that way. I just kind of use it to divide them and make them easier to grab. But that is that. And then this one in the corner here is kind of miscellaneous, just like the other one. I have extra pots there. I do have another pan too. That's actually, I never used this pan. My dad got it for me, and like, because he got one. I'm not really a non-stick pan person, but he bought that for me, so I'm like, all right, I'll keep it, I guess, for a while. And then I have an electric skillet, a griddle, and then some pizza peels over here, and then another one down here because it doesn't really fit anywhere else. And then this actually is the thing that came with the microwave, but I never used that. That is, back there, is called a pizza pizzazz. We used it a lot when we were moving into the house. It actually coincided, my parents bought me that for Christmas that year. It's like this little thing you can make a pizza on, but you don't need like an oven for, which was good because at the time we didn't have an oven for a couple months, so we were using it quite a bit, but now I barely ever use it. But I'm gonna keep it for now. I say that someday when we get our basement done, we could put it down there for like quick snacks, but I don't know when that day will come. Also, I messed up here. This is, I keep this for bacon grease, but I don't have it in there right now. And then I got some cast iron over there, but that's all that goes in there. All right. And then under the sink, so I cleaned this up a little bit. It's still kind of chaotic, it always is. But basically stuff for, most of it's for doing dishes. So like this is, well, these kitchen towels are differentiated from these kitchen towels. These are the ones I use to dry dishes. These are the ones I use to like wipe up spills and wipe hands and stuff. So I usually have 2 of those out, and I have 0 right now. I have to bring 2 more out, but I normally have 1 here on the oven and 1 on the dishwasher, but I don't have any right now. So I will do that too, but these are extra drying towels and washing cloths. So I have 1 washing cloth up there, and I usually swap those out after a couple days, and then you'll put them through the wash. And then if I have a big load of dishes, I'll take out the dish pan there on top. It's a collapsible dish pan. I'm gonna have a video about how I do dishes later, kind of go over this stuff more, but then I have like a drying rack if I need it, and this is like an over the sink drying rack. And then technically that shelf thing that it's sitting on there is for like drying wine glasses, or also like a drying rack, but I don't use it for that. So I just use it in the cabinet. It makes more sense to me. But anyway, that is that. And then I have like another scrub brush there. And then that came with one of my cast iron pans. And then over here I have, this is dishwasher tabs for the dishwasher, right next to the dishwasher, and the liquid for the dishwasher. So I can just open the cabinet real quick, grab it out, And then, you know, basically cleaning supplies back there. And then some extra hand soap for the soap dispenser I have at my, on my sink. And then these are just extra cleaning towels for the kitchen. Like I have specific ones for the kitchen. So that's all that's down there. Moving on to this cabinet above the dishwasher next to the sink. Like I said, there's a colander there, so it's easy to grab when I need that, mainly when I'm making noodles. But then I have these up here on the top shelf that I can still grab if I step on my tippy toes without the step stool, because I'm not quite tall enough to reach a lot of the top shelves, but I designed that one so I could still do that without having to go get the step stool. Very proud of myself. But anyway, this is mainly like a little bit of baking stuff and bread making stuff. The rest of my baking stuff is actually over in this cart over here. And before I had the cart, a lot of it was in here or in this cabinet down here, or sometimes in these drawers too. But it works better this way. Everything's more spread out. And then I explained this earlier in the video, but when I want to bake something, I have to go over to the pantry anyway and get all my ingredients. So I just take the cart, put all the ingredients on the top there, and then just wheel the cart over here all in one. And it has all my tools there that I need right away. So like my measuring spoons and stuff like that. So, and then this bottom cabinet of the shelf of the cabinet is for my cat. He gets his own shelf. I did restock with food because earlier I said we needed to restock, and I did that earlier this morning because I did this over 2 days. And then, like I said, these are the smaller plates, so I use those for his food normally. And then he has his own little bowls too. I have 2 of these. One's in the dishwasher right now. It's catnip, and then some treats back there and his medicine. That's that. So then this one next to it is, the bottom shelf is food storage containers. The shelf above that is a bunch of mixing bowls, different sets that we have. There's supposed to be 2 in the middle there. It's only 1 right now. The other one's in the dishwasher. And then these are more mixing bowls up here. They all nest in together. They all have little covers like those. This is a little salad server thing, the wooden thing. I don't use that very often because normally I only use it when I'm like serving salad to a bunch of people. Normally I just make salad for myself, like for lunch or whatever. So I don't use it for that. But when I'm serving it for something, then I put them in there, and it comes with little, like the salad tosser things, little forks. I'm not gonna pull it out right now, maybe some other time. But okay, so this white thing here was actually at the top shelf. That's something I changed because I have some trays that I need to fit up there that were, for the time being, when I kind of pushed everything or shoved everything wherever I wanted to go, I just shoved them in there. So they make more sense being in here. They're a serving platter, so, and they don't fit with my other serving platters that I have over in my, by my dining area over there. So put them on the top shelf. And it looked kind of funny putting the square one that I have there on top of the salad bowl on top of those. So I'm like, all right, it fits better in the salad bowl. And I barely use either one of those, so it's fine. And then I have these containers, which I just use basically when I'm going to another person's house and I'm bringing food, depending on what it is. And then I do have a few more of these containers, but they do all fit on the shelf. It took me a while to figure out how to fit them all on the shelf, but I finally figured it out. So I have like 2 sets of each. Like I have 2 sets of the circular ones. Like there's a large, extra large, medium, small of both the circles and the rectangles. So I have 2 sets of each. So 2 of each like size. Like I said, I was finally able to figure out how to fit those on the shelf. Made me happy when I finally figured that out. But that was a while ago, not today. All right, so the bread box over there, I'll just go over this real quick. So I do have a drawer in here that has a bunch of bread making stuff. So this, I think that was it, were in that corner cabinet randomly. I'm like, that's where they went, because I was kind of wondering. The last time I made like 4 loaves of bread for the Christmas party we had, and I just kind of shoved everything everywhere, including actually this over here. This is also a bread making thing. And I need to wash it because it had a bunch of flour in it. So I just kind of shoved it in the cabinet. Couldn't believe that. Oh, and did you see also in the video, if you didn't watch the rest of it, I found some Oreos in that cabinet from right around Christmas time too, because I was making something with Oreos, I think. And I was trying to hide them from my husband, because otherwise he'd eat them all. And sadly, they weren't good anymore, because otherwise I was going to eat them. But could not do that. So, all right, so I'm going to start from this side. So this is my knife drawer. Most of the knives I use are in here. There are some that are in the dishwasher right now. And I have a lighter in there in case I need it. Kitchen scale and a small cutting board. And then pizza cutters in here. And then these are just... Sorry, these are gloves you can wear to prevent, cutting yourself, but I never wear them, but maybe I should. All right, and this is the garbage. There's the Oreos. And then extra garbage bags, basically. And no, we don't have a recycling bin here. We have it in that room over there, which is closer to the recycling bin on the outside, so that works out. Just have to empty that every once in a while out that way. But only garbage in the kitchen. So then these here, so this is my other utensil drawer. And again, I try to keep it minimal, like one of each thing. I do have 2 whisks, but that's because one of them has a little scraper. I don't mind having 2, because sometimes when I'm baking, sometimes I need 2 anyway, so that's justifiable. Okay, I need 2 of those. And then I have this little organizer I got. Basically has a bunch of serving spoons and serving fork, I guess, like a bigger fork. And then I have like these random, like this knife doesn't match any other set we have. I'm not sure where they came from. And then I have 2 of these. One of them is in the dishwasher. It's another spoon that matches this knife. Again, we don't have the rest of that set. I don't know where that came from, but so I use it for random stuff. Like if I'm just making a sandwich real quick, I'll just grab that one instead of going over and grabbing one from there. And then the spoons actually I usually use for when I'm preparing my cat's food and his medicine and stuff. So that's that. Oops, I'm gonna mess this up. Can't close the drawer. All right. Can be a little chaotic in there, but I try to keep it ordered as much as possible at all times when I'm using it, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to close it. So, but anyway, this next one has all the wraps. So this is, I said I would link this. I'm gonna link it in the description, or something like it. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as mine, but because where I got mine from doesn't exist anymore. But so I have cling wrap in there, and then aluminum foil, because those are the ones I use most often. I just grab the whole thing out, so it's easier. And then wax paper, and this is press and seal, and then this is freezer paper, I believe. And then long time ago, before I even had this, I cut off the little blade that comes on the box of one of the big aluminum foils, and I stuck it on my side here so I could just easily rip it. But I also have a pair of scissors there. And then not much change in those. This one I didn't actually take all this out and clean. If you noticed when I was doing this, I kind of looked inside, didn't look too bad, and I didn't feel like taking all these bags out right now, so they were good enough for me. I ended up putting the extra toothpicks in here, like these are the colored ones I had, and then these are more appetizer-like anyway, so that's part of food prep, appetizer prep, whatever. And then down here are these little containers, and I do have those little cups that I use occasionally. These containers go with my cutting board. I'll show you that now. And I still forget the name of it. Still forget what the name of the cutting board is, or the company. Oh, it's right here, Tidy Board. So I think So when I bought this, it was a Kickstarter because I thought it looked really neat, so I got sucked in. What you do with this, you see there's a hole there. You take one of these containers. Hold on a second. All right, so these containers fit right in here like this. And then you can like chop and then just store it for later if you want. They come with little covers, and you can fit the smaller ones inside the bigger one like this if you have like several different things you want to do, like this. So if you're cutting something and like part of it goes in here and part of it goes in here, it's kind of cool. And then those all have covers down there as well. But anyway, that is what that is for. And really I only use it if I'm making like a big thing and I'm like for a party. Like I have to, chop stuff ahead of time, and because I like to prep like days before when I do a party. So something I find very useful. All right, and then we have one more cabinet to show you. And the other thing about the tidy board, the thing I just showed you, I did say that I got it from a Kickstarter. I know I saw advertisements for tidy board too, like they'd made some improvements or something. Actually, when I saw it, I'm like, I think I like the one I have better. So, but what I'm gonna say is I'm not sure if they still sell them, but if they do or whatever I find out, I'll put in the description if you're interested. They might not be available, I'm not sure. All right, so this last corner cabinet is the most chaotic one, but it is rather orderly now, and it's actually quite empty in this bottom one. There isn't much down here. So I'll start there actually. So these are more of those bread making basket things, bannetons. And then I have some freezer paper here, and then rolling pin as well. And then I have some strainers / dusters, whatever. And then some extra cutting boards and a cooling rack. And then back there is a fondue kit that we got for Christmas one year that we don't use. And then up here, so I have my mixer that I brought into the marriage, and then my husband's one that he has there, and then we do also have a KitchenAid. And then this is the other part of the blender. I need to wash this. This is the other part of the blender when we're not using it for drink stuff, or my husband isn't. I have an immersion blender back there. That thing is like to make the Uncrustable kind of things. I bought those because I bought it because I wanted to make a bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and freeze them just to quickly have a snack. And I actually still haven't done it, but that's from the Pampered Chef, but I bought it on Amazon or something like that. Someone was selling it, so it wasn't through a party. I bought it on Amazon. Then behind that, you can barely see, there is like a very big pitcher with like 8 gallons. Not 8 gallons, 8 cups. Gallons would be quite big. There is a big pitcher back there that can hold like 8 cups at a time. Very rarely need that, but just in case. Those 2 weird things in the back there are things that are very specialized and I barely ever use. You can use them for different things, but they kind of, like, first of all, it has a holder, which is nice. But you could use it, for instance, if you're making like a dessert and you're making like a chocolate topping that goes on it. You can use it to kind of control where your chocolate's gonna go, if that makes sense. And then you can put it in the holder so it holds it, and then it kind of closes it too so it doesn't drip all over. So yeah, it was one of those impulse buys I saw. I'm like, I could use that because I want to make some fancy desserts, but I haven't really done that yet, so someday. All right. Anyway, next to that, there's a container here that has a bunch of like cake tips, cake frosting tips, and cupcake holders and liners and stuff. And then on top of there, I have some spatulas that you use to kind of frost a cake, so that's all kind of related. And then in front of that, I have over here, I have cookie scoops or whatever else you use them for. This, and actually the thing that is in front of that, is an electric knife. Got that for Christmas. That was one thing I had to find a better spot for, and it's probably the thing that I have where I'm like, maybe I should put that on the bottom. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I will do that later. because it's a little chaotic and it kind of gets in the way of everything around it. Like I want to put it, and there's plenty of space down here, so I'm probably going to move that to the bottom. But that's an electric knife I got for Christmas. And then in front of that there, this thing here is a meat tenderizer. And then these are the little claws you can use to rip meat up when you're, slow cooking some meat. You know what I mean? Here's a grater, box grater. Well, the rolling pin's back here. There's something else back here then. I forgot what that was. Rolling pin. And then these containers here. So the one on the bottom is attachments for the KitchenAid that I barely ever use. And then on top, so that's a mandolin slicer. And then these are kind of the different blades I have, or contraptions for that. So they're all contained and easy to grab if I need them. But that's that, other than moving. I think I'm gonna move the knife back down there to the bottom, but other than that, that's how everything is supposed to be for now. Let me move that right now so you can see me. So this is the electric knife. I move it back down here because it has a lot more room down here, and the main thing I use that for is cutting bread, so it makes sense being by the other bread stuff. So here we go. Now everything's a little more accessible in there. Easy to grab. It's kind of a pain because you have to, like I said, these are supposed to be easy reach cabinets. That's what they're technically called. And as you saw when I was cleaning, if you watched that part, they're not very easy to reach into all the way in the back. But that's why I make things easier with the containers where I can just grab that very easily, or those have a handle on them and I can pull them. That's why they're over there. But they're also over there because I don't use them very often. But I try to keep, like, if it has a handle, I try to keep that easy to grab and easy to move over if I need to get something in the back of it, So I try to keep these corner cabinets as orderly as possible, but I still like these better than the thought of having Lazy Susans in here, but sometimes, you have to have a little discipline to make them work. But anyway, again, that's how my kitchen is set up organization-wise for the cabinets. It is my baseline for this year until I get, anything new or anything like that. Maybe I'll have to do this again later on in the year, but I just wanted to show you because I'm pretty proud of the organization in here. So in case you learn any tricks or see any organization, tools or kitchen tools that you want to see, I have those linked. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching.